I've had this Wasteland Warfare Liberty Prime in one of my drawers for probably going on 6 years now. And having just finished Fallout Season 2 on the TV, on the telebox, it felt like time to dust him off, stick him together, and take a swing at the quick paint job on him. Yeah, so Liberty Prime, spoiler alert, is teased at the end of Season 2. We don't know what he's going to look like in Season 3 of the TV show, what his finished paint job is going to be like or whatever, but we've got references from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Now, Liberty Prime in Fallout 3 was certainly something. Yeah, I don't remember much of the Fallout 3 story, but I remember towards the end, pretty much every character's like, oh, don't worry about it, this is all going to be chill once we get Liberty Prime up and running. Now, don't bother cleaning that up, mate. Liberty Prime is going to be here in a minute, he'll sort it out, it's fine, it's fine. But then Liberty Prime does turn up, and then the actual Liberty Prime section of the game was basically watching Fallout 3, having a self-congratulatory wank at how great it was, just watching this clanky bastard clipping through the terrain, and I had like quick save assigned to my left mouse button because every time he fired his laser, my PC just crashed. Yeah, I essentially just got to watch Liberty Prime play the game badly, while he just wobbled on ahead to collect all the achievements. I know he's in Fallout 4, but I didn't see him in Fallout 4 because it's Fallout 4. I do like Fallout. I like some Fallout. Some Fallout is shit. But the good news is, this Fallout, this Liberty Prime Fallout, is not bad. He's great. Like, I don't know what it is where Modiphius get their casting done. I mean, his leg's the wrong colour, but that's not going to matter in 5 minutes, is it? Wherever they get their casting done, the Fallout Wasteland Warfare stuff is always the cleanest resin stuff I ever seem to get. This guy's no exception. I think there was maybe a little bit of sanding on the joints so that he would stick together, but that's it. He's just kind of ready to go. Okay, our Liberty Prime is primed with a something kind of silver. Some kind of lead belcher equivalent thing, I think. Our main hurdle with this guy is going to be keeping him pretty much 90% steel and silver metallics, but trying to make that interesting to look at. My first thing to do is going to be to overbrush and dry brush on some different metallic paints. Partly this is to repair over the patchy primer, and partly to add some early variation into the model. So straight away we're using 2 or 3 different silvers to start mixing up the tones in subtle ways. Necron Compound for me is pretty much the king of shiny and chrome. I know there's gimmick paints out there that are like mirror reflective and shinier and all that shit, but this one's a nice happy medium, and more importantly, I can rely on its finished look every time. Foolishly, I'm gonna try this Ammo MIG shader stuff again. I think I've been thumping my head against the wall for like 2 years now trying to figure this stuff out, and I still have no idea what the end result is supposed to be or how it's meant to work, but we can achieve a very unsubtle undershade instead with some black ink. Because colour pops on this thing are going to really stand out in a sea of silver, I decided to tread very cautiously and pick a turquoise, turquoise, for the shoulder pads and some detail on the legs. With some other colours now on, we can focus on the important thing, which is even more variation and different shades of silver. To do this, we mix a blue steel and a regular steel together, about 50-50. And we apply to spot features and spot panels, so pistons, raised panels, hatches, the odd panel on the back, and importantly, we don't always need to observe symmetry with this guy. No, we don't want this guy to look knackered and destroyed, we just want it to look like it's a few hundred years old, and the different grades of metal have aged and oxidized in different ways, kind of like an off-color Super Nintendo. So different parts just seem to go different colors naturally. So, base coats are on. Definitely base coated. I think next step I want to try is to get the metals, which is most of it, like a motley effect, maybe? I'm not quite sure I'm going to do that. I think either sponge on some more metallic paint or sponge on some metallic adjacent paint, like different greys or browns or something. I think the problem's going to mainly stem from my eyesight and its relation to metallic or satin or gloss paints, in that once those go on, I just cannot tell what I'm looking at. Matte paint's completely fine, but as soon as I get something satin on there, like a heavy satin, like a speed paint satin, which is almost a gloss, I just, my depth perception goes, I can't tell what I'm looking at, I can't tell where my hand is in proportion to the model, and I just can't tell what is what. It's just cannot lock on. So, I'll see how I go. I'll just adjust tact if I need to, and take another swing. Okie dokie.
Come on down to the Tabletop Stronghold website, warehouse, and emporium based down here in sunny West Virginia. What's up, guys? Tony D here, slapping the bass and still in the race, and I'm here to talk to you today about the Mag Case 2.0, baby. What is a Mag Case 2.0, you ask? Well, it's the greatest magnetized miniatures case that I've ever heard of. Magnets? Check. Metal miniatures trays? Check. Solid build and design? Check. Let me tell you guys, since we last spoke, I have had nothing but good times with my pal, the Mag Case 2.0 over here. This little guy has kept my miniatures safe from all kinds of clumsiness and environmental hazards. We get our magnetized miniatures into the case. We aggressively jerk it off the table. We travel by surface-to-air missile to our friendly local game store, and the case is still in one piece, and our miniatures have been just chilling the whole time, guys. Let me tell you something, guys. I have been in this game a long time, and I have never met a miniatures case that could sustain transit by surface-to-air missile. Have we tested this? But that ain't all, guys. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, because right now Tabletop Stronghold is provided the free shipping to the USA, Canada, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and most of the EU. But Tony, I hear you screaming, surely it can't get no better. But it does, because right now we're offering a... How much? Holy sh... We are offering a massive 25% discount on all orders using the code TONY25. That's TONY25. Tony's 25 in love and light. And while you're there, don't forget to check out the Tabletop Stronghold's fine array of other lines like the Competitive Terrain Set 2.0, which supports all the 8 current competitive layouts, modular wall extensions with 62 customization pieces for ease of use and the convenience. So don't get it whipped, get a strong hold of yourself and check out the www.tabletopstronghold.com/MS and use the code TONY25 to save yourself a 25% off of your next free shipping order. All right, bye.
Okay, old trick, new paint. As I've mentioned, I do want this robot to look aged but not knackered, so here I would normally go in with the Kyrus leather, however you say it, or the Rhinox hide and do some rusty chips and dents, but I want to go softer and give it a tarnished look instead. So I've subbed that brown paint for a lighter brown metallic paint, and we're going sparingly by my standards. This is basically ration book levels of paint compared to what I would normally thump on there. Then as a second part of this step, we'll go over those areas again with a really light silver and just sponge it on. So we're brightening up the existing steel colours and blotching and interweaving with the rusty colour that I just put on. This, I think, is pretty much going to give us the mottled metal look that I wanted. Now, before I forget, I think a decal or two is going to help us with our lack of interest points on this guy. I've got some decals from Conflict 47. I can just throw those on. They're from the US armies. I think they'll do the job here. Which decal setter do I recommend? Well, I bought these two pots as a set and I used the red one. The red one worked the first time I used it, so I've never opened the blue one. I'm going to take another 10 minutes to add some last minute stipples of weathering paint, making sure that I tickle the edges of the decals a bit so that they fit better on the piece. One of the last steps is to bring all of these different colours and shades and blotches and weathering touches together a bit closer with a top coat wash. I'm going with enamel washes because I know what these will do, and also I know that if they don't do what I think they're going to do, I can take it off after it's dried by applying some white spirit, which is also what I used to dilute the wash before application. Because we have turquoise elements on this guy and his eyes will eventually glow a light turquoise, I'm uniting all of these elements together with like a turquoise enamel paint with a touch of brown. The brown is going to sit nicely in the recesses and the turquoise is going to tint every surface it touches, shifting the shade of Mr. Prime altogether towards that spectrum. I then take a neat black enamel wash and just spot it on in places. We can sculpt this into something funky and interesting once it's dried. Once it has dried, we take a Q-tip with some white spirit on to reactivate it and wipe away some of the wash from a few select raised areas. You can also use a makeup sponge and white spirit to quickly pull the wash off large flat areas and leave the wash in the recesses. Quick and easy. As a final touch on Big Robot Man, I'll throw on some rusty weathering powder where I think moisture and water may have settled while he stood motionless for a few centuries, maybe half a dozen small areas at tops. And he is done. Arguably a lot of stages and a lot of work for some absurdly subtle effects on him that don't really show up unless you get right in there with the macro lens. But hey ho, I learned quite a bit doing this job, and you know, the good thing is that's some new skills that are going into the toolbox that I'll be taking with me on the next one. Thank you muchly to my wonderful Patreon community for supporting the channel, and thank you muchly for watching. Cheers. I'm out of here.